guys, welcome to the Radiate Your Faith podcast. My name is Maddie Walko, and I'm a college softball player from the great state of Texas. And I'm so excited that you are tuning into the Radiate Your Faith podcast, where I hope you are encouraged to let the light of Christ shine through you in a way that allows people to see God through the way that you walk with Him. My prayer for you is that your faith is deepened, that it is strengthened, and that you are encouraged to radiate your faith. Hey guys, welcome to the Radiate Your Faith podcast. I am so excited that you guys are joining me this week for our episode. And y'all, I have a very special guest on this week. This is my boyfriend, Mason. So I'm just going to go ahead and let him introduce himself to you guys.
Hey guys, my name is Mason. I go to JBU, which is a small Christian college up in Arkansas, and I play tennis there. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here and really excited to talk with y'all about this.
Our episode this week is going to be all about God's timing and how His timing strengthens our faith. And do you want to share why you decided to choose this topic?
Yes, I chose this topic because just these past couple of seasons in my life has just been very crucial to like what I've been learning about God and just His relationship with us and how it strengthens us through different trials. So that is why I want to talk about this.
So I think a great way to start this episode, because we're talking about God's timing, is just how we met.
That is, yes, a lot of timing went into that. That is for sure.
Yes, it did. So we met in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a senior.
I was a junior.
He was a junior. We both decided to take food science.
Yes.
Which
an easy elective class.
For some. He is a really bad cook, but it's fine.
It's fine. She got me through it.
Most of the class, he had like his own chair because he would burn stuff, and he was the reason I didn't get 100 in that class. But anyways,
you still got an A+.
I did. We met in food science, which I literally just took that class because my sister was like, it's a blow-off class.
Yeah,
you can
pretty
take
much
it senior year.
Yeah.
We met there. So I actually didn't talk to him for a week or two.
Something like that, because one of our friends, mutual friends, Bree, I sat next to her, and then Maddie sat next to kind of her, just a little bit more in the back with one of her other friends. So we weren't interacting just yet. So
yeah. So yeah, I sat next to Devin, which I met Devin my junior year. And so we kind of sat in the same area, but I don't know, we never really talked. And then because Bree, I played softball with Bree my freshman year, and she knew Mason. That's kind of how we got introduced. And I didn't like him at first because I was like, oh, who is this guy talking to Bree? Like, I want to talk to her. We met that way. And then Bree was out because she was sick.
Yes, from COVID.
Back in the good old days. Mm-hmm. And I remember that we like did a group project, and I was paired up with Devin because I'd been friends with Devin, and Mason didn't have a group.
No, I did not. I looked around, went to my left thinking, oh, I'll just go with this group because I was sitting closer to them. And then they already grouped up, and I was like, well, where do I go? So then I just like look back at Maddie and Devin and see that they only have 2 people. So I just like smiled at them, was like, hey guys. So asked to be in their group and just, hit it off from there. So
yeah, we became friends day one. It was really, okay. I had a crush on this guy at the time, and there were a lot of emotions there. I don't know what was going on, but I decided to share every single detail of my crush on this guy with him.
Yes, and I'm all about trying to figure out who likes who, and just that conversation in general with a bunch of people is very intriguing to me. So
yeah, it was definitely
I was definitely asking a lot of questions, trying to figure out the whole situation.
Yeah. I don't know why I shared all that. I don't know. I just shared everything, which is great. It made us close really fast. But we met in high school, and we became friends because I had a crush on someone else. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off from there, and we became really, really good friends after that. And yeah, so all that happened really fast. So I just kind of want to talk about like where I was at in my faith at this point. So had been living for the Lord probably only 6 months at this point. And if you haven't seen my testimony video, I'll just kind of catch you up to speed. But the reason I had become or had gotten to a place of surrendering my life to the Lord was because I was really hurt by my guy best friend at the time. And so I kind of lost a bunch of friends. And so I had, it hurt. It was really sad. And I remember asking that the Lord would put someone in my path who loved him and would pursue him. And that's kind of where Mason came along. But for you, do you want to share where you were at in your faith?
Yes. So where I was at in my faith, basically before I met Maddie and just this whole group of friends we'll talk about in a second, I didn't really have much of a community. I mean, I had my church and I had a couple of friends from there, but during COVID was a very hard time for me because I was very isolated, which left me a lot with my thoughts and just a lot of questions I was asking about this world and just to God. I grew up in a church and was very knowledgeable about God, so I knew God in my head, but I didn't know God in my heart fully. So it was just a big process of getting it to my heart. And COVID was a very big testing time for me to, I guess, figure out like all the things with God and what I believed. So then after that, since I didn't really have a big community other than just like a couple of friends at church, I was really praying for a good like Christian friends that would like, iron sharpens iron kind of friends. So that's where I was. And then just like it was crazy that like I just met you and then all the different things that happened with like, our friend group and just the opportunity God gave us.
Yeah. And so this crush on a boy, okay. For some reason, that whole thing just made the four of us, me, Mason, Bree, and Devin, the people from that class, just so close. It was great. And so I remember we decided we were gonna just we went to Blue Goose,
Yep.
and the batting cages, and this boy texts that guy on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
To help me, jumpstart the process here of this.
I was trying to be her wingman. So,
yeah. Look at us now. But anyways, so we kind of also at that point had gotten the idea, me and Bree, that we were like, we should start a Bible study group. Because all of us were Christians. I actually remember having that conversation being like, you're a Christian? No way. So we started that Bible study group and we invited some other people, just people from softball, some of Bree's friends. So it was great. And so we started the Bible study and I kind of talked about this in my testimony too, but at that point I only read like 3 books in the Bible. Maybe.
Yeah, and y'all, it did not seem that way at all. Like going into this, I thought she was like some well-versed Christian that was just like knew a lot of things and just was very knowledgeable. And I was just there to learn from her and just learn a lot just about God through all of that as well.
Yeah, and no, that is far from the truth. I was so on fire for the Lord at that point. That's all I wanted to talk about. That's all I cared about. And I think a lot of it was just the Holy Spirit speaking through me and helping push people who had been kind of stagnant in their faith back to pursuing the Lord and wanting a relationship with him. And I know that Bible study was very special to everyone that attended.
Yeah, definitely. Especially me, just through that time of wanting like that close like friendship with a bunch of people, like the iron sharpens iron kind of friends. That was just very like good for me to keep my faith like consistent and have those friends to keep me accountable and just have the love like of God just always be important to me. It was very helpful.
Yeah, it's a very sweet time. Definitely like my favorite year of high school by far, just because of all that happened. And that whole group of people just got so close so fast. And it was only the Lord's doing that all that happened, because everyone was so from different places, different backgrounds. But we would hang out. We hung out all summer. It was so great. And then I moved, which was so sad. But that Bible study was definitely really important to the story. And it impacted a lot of people, including myself. I guess sparked the desire that I wanted to take more of the, not leadership role, but share my faith openly and boldly. I love doing it. That's why I do this. So fast forward a little bit. I go to college. He's still in high school because I'm a year older. At that point, we just FaceTimed.
Yeah, every like week or every other week, just keeping in touch.
Yeah, and we just talked about Jesus 99% of the time, what the Lord was doing in our lives, which was so cool. And at that point too, I started dating somebody
Yeah.
from college, and he started dating someone from high school
At the same time.
at the same time. Yes, I think you started dating that girl
Mhm.
a week before I started dating the guy,
Mhm.
and then you broke up with the girl a week before I broke up with the guy. So how crazy is that, y'all? God's timing's
Very, very funny sometimes.
yes, very funny, very specific. And I think that time after both of us ended that relationship was really important, just over the last year,
Mhm.
growing in our faith, learning what God's love is, being fully satisfied in him, got us both to a place of just, I don't know, full satisfaction in the Lord. And it's been cool kind of how we started dating, which has been cool, but I know we both can agree the timing of everything was so specific and so important.
Very specific.
Because if we would have dated a year, even 5 months ago, like earlier, it wouldn't have worked.
No, it wouldn't have.
I'm just going to kind of let you take the floor on this next part, just because, like we said, the whole topic is God's timing and how it strengthens our faith. And you can see God's timing definitely through our friendship, but more of the strength part, I'm going to let you talk all about that.
More so in the seasons of life that's been happening with me. So I went to college. It was a great experience, a very easy transition for me, which is very unexpected, and surrounded by great friends. But then the second semester happened, and I could tell that was more of a time just to prepare, just like a lot of preparation, and just focus on my relationship with God, because I felt like something big was happening. So just throughout my second semester, I just kept hearing the theme of just keep growing my like one-on-one relationship with God, because that's honestly all he wants from you. He just wants to be there with you in the hard times, be there with you in the good times, and just wants to have that relationship with you. So that's what I was learning in my second semester of college, and it was building me up for something I couldn't even imagine. I guess summer started, and it was a very rough time for me, because I started a job, a full-time job, and it was I was a pool technician, which out in this Texas heat is no joke. It is very brutal on your body, and shout out to the people that do that still, like props to you for still doing that. But it was very difficult for me to keep up with that, plus tennis. And on top of that, at my church, they were starting a mentoring program, and I could just hear God, calling me to that, just because, I mean, even you've kind of talked about like maybe that was something I'd be good at. So I wanted to try it. And so the person who's organizing all of it, Tori.
Sorry.
Yep. She got me my mentoree. And one day while I was cleaning pools, she texted again saying, "Do you want another one?" I didn't want another one. Like, if I'm being very honest, I just wanted to have more of a relaxing summer, because my expectation for the summer was just to be very relaxing and focus on a lot of tennis. But that's not what God's plan was for me. Not at all. All I could hear was him just saying, "Go for it. You need to do this." And so, or "bring it on" was more so the words, just bring it on. So I told Tori to bring it on, and I was dying inside because of how much a commitment I knew that was. And so just keeping up all of that, because a full-time job plus tennis, I was trying to make that my full-time job as well. It was just very brutal for me. But because I knew it was God's timing, and this was God, all from God, all the opportunities given me, and he was specifically telling me to do all that. Even though it was very hard through the trial, just like physically, and just like my time management like was just very like off the walls. I was definitely strengthened through it, and just that season of life before, preparing for something big, it prepared me for this. And just knowing that like God, actually I have a verse that kind of talks about this. So in Psalm 55:22, it says, cast your cares on the Lord, and he will never let the righteous be shaken. That's just a good verse in general, but for me through that time, it was kind of more so those were my cares, were all the things that he's given to me that I needed to develop and get through. And knowing that it was from him, I was able to through, like, while I was doing it, just knowing that he was there and this was all from him, it gave me the strength that I needed to get through all of it through the very busy time of my life. So
That's awesome. And I think it's really cool that, you felt so overwhelmed, but the Lord gave you the strength to get through it. And it was definitely not your own strength. It was the Lord's strength. But I think a lot of what the Lord did through you this summer has just grown you so much. And I think it's important to remember that sometimes the growth that we need isn't the most comfortable. And we have to allow God to have that time in our lives, to give him that space to grow us and to strengthen our faith through what he puts us through, because we might not feel equipped for it, but God equips who he calls. And it's very, very prevalent that this summer you have grown so much, and it's been so cool to watch. And I love what you said earlier about how God just wants a relationship with us, because the desire for a relationship, friendship, dating relationship, whatever it is, that's just a reflection of God's own heart. If you feel that desire that, oh, I want a relationship with this friend or whatever, that's just points back to God wanting a relationship for him. And I think it's important to remember that. But it's just been so cool to see what God has done through you, through our friendship, through the time he's given us. We've been friends for so long, and at least 2 of the years of the 2.5 years we've been friends has been over FaceTime.
Yep.
So it's been really cool to see how God has kind of grown the both of us, and how his timing has worked out, and especially in your life, how he's strengthened you through what he's given you. Anything else before we close the episode?
Actually, yes. Just kind of with all of that, I know for me, a lot of my relationship with God is what I try to do for him, and that's not the case at all. You do the things because you have that relationship with them. You don't measure up your relationship with the things that you do. So just even through that season of life, I started to kind of get into more of the things of where, like, all the things I was doing was like more of my relationship with God, which is good. But I was starting to lack a little bit more of that, like, specific one-on-one relationship with him. So that was just something also God's been teaching me, just keep up that, like, one-on-one relationship with him, even before, like, you go out and do all those things, because having that relationship will make all those other things more meaningful.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm so glad that you guys have joined in for the podcast this week. I hope that you guys were encouraged, that you learned a little bit more about God's timing and how it strengthens our faith. If you want to check out our website, we got some merch. I am in the process of designing new t-shirts. I just got some designs from a coworker.
Hey.
I know, so exciting.
Check those out.
I'm so glad that you guys have joined in for the podcast, and I hope that you were encouraged to radiate your faith.